Hello everyone. Today we will be providing you with a tutorial of Surgent's Certified Information Systems Auditor Review course. So the first thing that you'll notice is that when you log into our screen, that you will see this welcome and introduction screen, just giving you a general overview, and then you will click next. From there, you will enter your exam date. So let's go ahead and schedule our exam for March 31st of 2022, and then we'll click next. Now we have an opportunity to say exactly what days per week do we intend to study. Now, this is a crucial element of setting up your study process because it's very important to have a game plan so that you know exactly which days you're studying and which days you're giving yourself a mental break and having a day off. And so it's very important to do this step. You'll click next from here. And then this will show you the 3 phases of our CISA review course. So the first phase is the assessment. When you complete the assessment, you'll get a firm understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses, and it will help you establish your ReadySCORE. Now, the ReadySCORE helps you determine what score do I need to achieve in order to pass the CISA exam. And so you will get your initial ReadySCORE after completing the assessment, and then you'll move into the study phase. Now here, in this phase is where you will work on doing more and more practice questions and watching, watching your time, like how much time does it take for me to answer a question, just looking at all of those sorts of things to figure out if you're on track to be able to pass the CISA exam on your exam date. Then after that, we'll move on to the practice phase. Now with practicing, that's where you're going to be doing your practice exams. We want you to be able to complete at least 1 or 2 practice exams before your actual exam date. That just gives you an extra confirmation to know that you are ready to pass this exam. Then you'll click Let's Go. And that will move you into the assessment phase. So you'll see a little explanation about the assessment phase, and then I'm going to go ahead and click out of there for now. And what you'll see here is that there are 150 questions in the assessment. You do not have to complete all of those questions in one sitting. You could take maybe 3 to 5 days, somewhere in that range. Go ahead and take your time, complete the assessment, and then you can get started with the rest of your study experience. Now, you'll notice when you scroll down here that all of these various categories that are included and being covered on the CISA exam are currently locked. You cannot access those. That is because the assessment has not yet been completed. Once you complete the assessment, you will have access to the full version of the review course. And so you'll just click Start to get going here with the assessment. And then once you finish that, you will be in your full version of the review course. Now, this is an example of a user who's already completed the course. And so what you'll see here is that your exam days that you're available to study, or your review days rather, that you're available to study are listed here. Your actual exam date is listed here. And then it will also show here, if this exam date was in the future, this would show what the daily amount of study time is that we are recommending. We will personalize this for each user and give you a recommendation to say, if this is your goal to pass the exam by this date and you can study X number of days per week, then here's the amount of time you need to be studying per day. Now, what do you do with these hours or minutes that we're recommending that you study? Well, you can do one of 2 things. One, you can go up here and utilize the daily surge. Now, when you're using the daily surge, you're going to focus on your practice questions here, and then later on, you'll move on to your practice exams as well. But you also have materials that you can read as well. So those are 2 things that can be very helpful, utilizing the practice questions and reading reference materials from the textbook. Now, I'm going to show you when you click into the study session, that gives you the ability to see exactly what all the questions look like. I'm going to go click, it looks like a little person reading a book here. I'm going to click here, go into the session results log, and allow you to have access into seeing what it looks like after you've answered some questions. So I'll click View. Now I can see the questions that were missed, as well as the questions that were answered correctly on this assignment, as well as, remember I mentioned that you're going to want to watch how long it's taking you to answer a question. This is where you get access to that. So 38 seconds per question here. But now let's go ahead and review these problem questions. So now I can see the question. My answer was here in red. The correct answer is highlighted in green. And then over here, you get an explanation of what the correct answer was, but also maybe you need to take a look at some of these relevant terms. Maybe you need to understand more about distributed database, things like that. If I want to go to the next question I missed, I can click that. And again, same deal here. You get a full explanation of the calculations that you needed to do in order to get this question correct. So those types of things can be very helpful as you're preparing for the CISA exam. Now, in addition to reading the materials up here and doing the study sessions and the practice exam, you can also study in a more structured format if you'd like. So when you're utilizing the daily surge up here, all of these materials are going to be personalized to what you need to see. So for example, the reading materials as well as the practice questions are going to be based on the areas or topics that you are not performing quite as well in. So those weakness areas, that's what we're drilling you in over here. And we're going to be jumping around from topic to topic because that's the way it is on the full exam. The full exam is not going to say, okay, you get 30 questions on the process of auditing information systems. Instead, they're going to give you one question from here. The next question may be from category 4, the next one from 5, 3, 2, and so on. And so that's what this does, is it bounces you around and really helps train your brain for the way that the exam will be asking you the questions. But as I mentioned, you might want to go here and say, you know what, I just want to focus on category 1 first. Let's look at domain 1. And let me study questions there. And you see this user has already achieved the high score that they're looking for. If you hover over this ReadySCORE, we show you that for the CISA exam, we want you to achieve a ReadySCORE of 80 or higher in order to indicate that you're ready to pass. This user has achieved that as their full ReadySCORE, and they've achieved it in each of the domains here as well. Now, one other thing to note is that you can click anywhere in this box for category 1, and it will drill down into subcategories for 1A and 1B. And if you only wanted to do practice questions on one of those individual subcategories, you could do that by clicking there. And then some of them you see there for 1A, some of them drill down even further to 1A1 all the way through 1A5. And so you can get very detailed and specific on what it is that you need to focus on improving. So here, if there was any work to be done, you would want to do it in business processes and types of controls, because there you have 70s. Everywhere else, you're already in that 80 or above range. So that's just a quick note about how that works. Now, when you get ready to do your practice exam, you can do it up here from the daily surge, but you can also click this practice exam button down here. So here it will show you that you have 4 hours to complete the CISA exam, and the exam consists of 150 multiple choice questions. And so that is just a quick overview of what you can expect. When you want to actually start the practice exam, you'll click this button and go into the full exam. And this is going to mimic exactly what you can expect to see at the testing center when you get ready to take the real exam. Again, we want you to take at least 1 or 2 practice exams in our system before you go to the testing center and take the real version. Now, a couple of other things that I'll show you up here. If you click this little document icon, you can access the glossary, the textbook, and you can take notes. You have virtual notes that you can keep when you are answering questions and things of that nature, so you can access those here. I already showed you when you click this button of the person reading the book, you can access your session results log as well. So that can be helpful. Then here, if you click on, it's a little picture of a star. This shows our gamification elements. And so if you click there, you can get points and badges for doing things like watching videos or setting your exam date or just a variety of different things that, completing a practice exam, different things like that, you can get points for doing those things. And so if that is of interest to you, you can definitely use those. This is really helpful for maintaining your motivation. And so it's nice to be able to get rewarded for something like that as you accomplish some of those milestones. And lastly, the thing I'll show you, if you click this little question mark icon, this gives you access to some helpful emails. So if you have a question about something in your account, your page isn't loading properly, something like that, you can email exam-review@surgent.com and they'll be able to help, or you can call our 800 number and they will be able to help as well. And then if you have a content related question, let's say you look at the answer explanation for a question, but you still have some additional questions that you want clarification on, you can email those to editorial@surgent.com and someone from our content team will be able to follow up with you and provide more clarity on those as well. So that gives you a quick recap of how to go ahead and get started within the CISA review course that we provide here at Surgent, as well as how you can maximize your study time to efficiently move through the platform and be ready to pass the exam by your exam date. So I hope you found this helpful, and we wish you the best of luck as you move forward with passing the CISA exam. Have a great day.